To give you a short update of where we are. This is what currently deployed at bleeding.mytestbed.net. That's where we push out our development versions, and most likely tomorrow we're going to push that up to Gimme, and I think Jack is in contact with DVR on potentially pushing that into her space as well. So here's where we are. This is the normal screen. We just log in. Here, because I've already logged in earlier, so it remembers my credentials, and here just asks me to authorize the Labwiki. Now, what you may not have seen here up on the top corner is, first of all, we're now showing the different projects, and let me just switch over to my, actually the testbed project is fine. So here I can just basically switch between the different projects, and here we also have a little label here, in this case authorized. This is basically an indication if the slice service has a speaks for credential for that user which is currently valid. But just to show you on how to obtain one, if you don't have one, it would show not authorized. So here under my name is the authorized. So here it asks me just to, on the safe side, if I have any open, it's open. So it takes me over to the speaks for credential. It grabs my key from the clearinghouse, and so this is the speaks for tool deployed at the GPO. So now the label doesn't change, but I now have a freshly minted speaks for credential. So with that one, I could, for instance, get the status of an existing slice. So let me just see here, foo 26. It now goes out there, slice service fetches the state of the current slivers, and here you see here I created a slice. There's a couple of resources, and I place them at NYU. Okay, so how do we start from scratch if we want to create basically a topology? We go over into the prepare column as usual, topology. Let me call it topo 6. Create a few. So here that basically now opens the topology editor, and here let's basically recreate that little topology we have on the right hand side. So we need 3 nodes here, like add nodes 1, 2, 3, and then we just connect them by going inside, holding the mouse down, dropping it over to the next one, back, dropping it over, back, dropping it over. So here we have 3 nodes connected. Now we just have to configure them. We just click on them. Okay, call this node 0. In this case, we all put them on the same AM, and let's pick Stanford. That's for us the closest one. And here you see there's a dev button. By clicking this one, it's now basically the default for all the nodes, so we don't have to repeat that one. In this case, you see here, and now I click on this one, call this node 1, but the Stanford is already selected. So in this case, we put them all on the same rack. The stitching mechanism is not working yet because I haven't found out 2 aggregates between which I can stitch reliably, and hopefully we can resolve that during GEC. At the moment, it's only working for Instagenie, and on the safe side, we're only restricted to the Zen portion because we're also going to install OMF on them automatically. And the OpenVZ part is just so old that we can't even find any software for it anymore, so we just stick with Zen. And finally over here, just node 2. And we save that. And in this case, it's just a textual description. We we're not really using RSpec here. We could use RSpec here just to keep it simpler. In a web development environment, we actually use something like GraphJSON. I can just show you here how that will look like. Topo 6, and in this case we go for the in this case it's the textual representation, and here it's just the GraphJSON, which is essentially just a JSON version of describing graphs. Now, if we have this now, let's actually now create create those resources. As usual, just drag them over here. And here we now get a panel to create a new slice. Basically, create them one. We could create a new slice or just use one of the existing ones and basically replace the ones. As the delete sliver function is taking way too long, let's just create a new one. Foo 25 and requesting it here. And now it goes out there and creates, in this case, it creates a slice membership for myself in the context. It creates the slice and the slice membership. So here you see the progress. It's started, create the slice membership, resolved it, and creates another slice sliver task, and creates the create sliver command on the Instagenie Stanford one. Now that create sliver came back and basically gave us back a manifest of that topology we requested. And as you can see here, from at this stage, the status of the resources is unknown. That's what's being returned at the moment. The slice service is repeatedly checking with the AM on the sliver status, and every sort of 30 seconds or so this is going to be updated. Here we just, for the moment, just show a couple of the important stats. In this case, primarily the SSH details if somebody ultimately wants to log in, but if you have OMF, there's really no need for SSH. Anyway, so now we have to wait for a bit. That can take quite a while. And ultimately, we should see the status of the nodes. Now, while we're waiting, I just basically can show you on an alternative way to actually go to the slice service directly. This should normally be protected at the moment. We have it actually wide open. So if we look going for the slice service, slices, in this case I can foo 25 because there's only one in there, so it's and then ask for the resources. And here we're getting a listing of all the resources in that slice, and as you can see, node 2 is changing, node 0 is changing, node 1 is changing. So that's basically what comes back from the EM on the I think it's the sliver info or slice info command. And basically, ultimately, those nodes, if they're ready, then they will basically turn green and the user can use them. So this is what we saw before. I think we won't wait to the end for that one. Making a good cooking show, you have your pre-prepared meals, and that's what it's supposed to be look like at the end. Alright, I hope that gives you a short, quick idea of where we're up to, and we definitely will have that ready for GEC, and hopefully we can use that in the tutorials. At the moment we're just busy pinging up on it and trying to see whether if there are any scaling issues. as we prepare for GEC. Thanks for listening.